Today I'm in the garage creating an indoor anchor system for our slackline setup. And so basically what we're doing here is taking a hammer drill, drilling a hole in one corner of the garage, and then we're going to go to the opposite diagonal corner of the garage and drill another hole. Now occasionally you do need to vacuum these holes out so that the drill bit will keep cutting smoothly. And with a good quality hammer drill and a little bit of patience, you'll have two very nice, very deep holes in your garage. Now you're just going to need the anchor hardware to make this project work. Here you can see that I have a concrete anchor bolt with the rest of my hardware attached to it, but I'm just going to go ahead and slip the bolt into place, and I've got that nut on there preset to the depth that I want this anchor to go. I'm going to kind of tap it on in there. Could take a little while here, it's kind of tight fit. Go ahead and slide that other nut on the top so I don't damage my threads too bad. Go ahead and keep on tapping that in until I get it set to the depth that I want. Once it's in place, I'm going to go ahead and lock this bottom nut. Tighten it completely against the concrete there. Just ensuring that it's good and tight and it's not going anywhere. Not that I thought it would in the first place. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is slip this small washer on, throw a copper collar on there, and then a larger washer on top with another lock nut on the very top of that bolt. That copper collar is just a piece of scrap copper pipe that I had laying around, and that's just more or less just to kind of prevent the end of the slack line from being damaged against the threads of that bolt. And here you see the basic setup. It's got the small washer on the bottom, that copper collar, larger washer on the top, and then the locking nut, that nylon locking nut on the very top. So that anchor system is not going anywhere. And here you can see how the end of the slack line loops around that anchor system. That top washer there kind of keeps it from sliding off. The slack line goes up over a standard cinder block, which I've padded with an old towel. And it runs the diagonal length of the garage. Got a lot of extra slack line there. Over the other cinder block, over the other towel, down to a similar anchor in the other corner of the garage. Pretty simple setup. As set up right now, end to end, I've got approximately 25 feet worth of length on the slack line, with approximately 18 usable feet between the end and that ratchet section. The part of the slack line which is closest to the cinder block is the most stable, as you can see here. You don't get a lot of shake at that point because that's where the bulk of the tension is. And with proper tension, the slack line is 16 inches off the ground at the cinder blocks, and if it's set correctly, it'll never touch the concrete floor, keeping somewhere between 2 to 3 inches even in the center with maximum weight. Here at the ratchet section of the slack line, you can see where you're going to get a lot more play in it, but again, it will stay up off the garage floor if you have your tension set correctly. It's a lot less stable if you're not near where the cinder blocks are. To give you some idea of the type of weight that is in this section right now, I'm approximately 6'1" and in the neighborhood of 193 pounds. Now the garage door is open currently and the sun's gone down. So let's see if I can do this without embarrassing myself too badly. With slacklining, as with a lot of other sports, you just have to commit. You can't be afraid to throw yourself into it. You're not going to fall that far. And again, with proper tension, there should never be a time where the slack line absolutely snaps out from underneath you, keeping you safe. Well, I hope this demonstration has given you some ideas for an indoor slackline setup. If it has, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up like.